926. Yeah. Terence Bud Crawford. Terence Bud Crawford has been one of the main talking points in the boxing community quite some time now. Teofimo Lopez, as we know, got a fight coming up with Jermaine Ortiz, and he has some interesting things to say about Terence Bud Crawford. Said some things to the effect that Terence Crawford only fights fighters that are injured, that only fights fighters that are on the decline. Also, Bomac Talks, the trainer of Terence Bud Crawford, says that anybody that knows boxing for real knows that Terence Bud Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez. It's your boy, Mr. 926, a.k.a. Bushido the Dragon, a.k.a. Captain Karate, a.k.a. the One Punch Man, a.k.a. the Black Mage, a.k.a. I could just do this all day, the two-time, the Montage, champion of the world.
Need y'all to get the likes up, man. Get the likes up!
Check it out, man. Teofimo Lopez got a fight coming up with Jermaine Ortiz. Now, I call Jermaine Ortiz Serious Rolly, right? He looks like a more serious, mean version of Orlando Romero, right? Rolly looks like the goofy version of it, whatever. Terence Bud Crawford, as we know, could possibly be facing Canelo Alvarez. And, yeah, Coach Brian Bomac McIntyre has some things to say about this. Now, salute to Fight Hub TV. And, yeah, check out what Bomac had to say.
Everybody that believes in hardcore boxing fans, they know Crawford can beat Canelo, just like they knew Bud was going to beat Spence. This is real simple. It's real simple. You just got to know boxing in order for you to be able to say that. Hey, Terry's going to get in there and do what he needs to do, perform.
Now, after hearing what Coach Bomac had to say, this is something that your boy Bushido been saying way before it was a popular thing to say. If Terence and Canelo was in the same weight class, if Crawford was a middleweight fighter, Crawford will run Canelo Alvarez out of the ring. I've been saying this for years, long before this even became a possibility in people's minds. Your boy Bushido been saying that Crawford will whoop Canelo Alvarez if they was in the same weight class. Well, it's looking like this could be a possibility for Terence Bud Crawford. And this is something that boxing fans been waiting for a while now. Of course, now you got guys like Teofimo Lopez already throwing a monkey wrench into the plans, already throwing some excuses and some bullshit into the boxing verse. I mean, he said that Terence Bud Crawford only fights fighters on the decline. Teofimo Lopez seemed to be interested in himself facing Terence Bud Crawford. I don't know what Teofimo's angle really is, but you got to admire it, right? If he's serious about fighting a guy like Terence Crawford, you got to respect it, because this is what we want to see. However, that fight spells absolute doom for Teofimo Lopez. Even if Crawford is an aging fighter, that fight spells absolute doom for Teofimo Lopez. But check out what Teofimo Lopez had to say on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani.
One guy on my list, and that's on my hit list, and that's Terence Bud Crawford. I believe the reason why being so, we're only one weight class apart. He's the kingpin of the 147 division. I am the kingpin of the 140 division. So why not, right, Ariel? Shouldn't the best fight the best? However, I'm going to say it here. Terence Bud Crawford likes to go after guys that are not the same or they're injured. And I'll say it right here. A lot of his fights that he has had, he has faced injured fighters. Now he wants to face someone. What are the chances of Saul Canelo Alvarez? Saul Canelo Alvarez is on a decline. Whether Saul, if he likes it or not, it is the truth. He's had his rise. Now he's starting to depreciate. We could see it. He's getting heavier, getting hefty, real flat-footed. He's not as light as before. So who's going to want to jump on that? Terence Bud Crawford, because it looks good. He beats the face of boxing. However, you fought a guy that's on a decline. Now,
salute to MMA Hour and Ariel Helwani for the interview, but Teofimo Lopez, man. Hey, he's outspoken. Teofimo Lopez go speak his mind, and a part of me respects it, right? Because Teofimo Lopez, you need guys like him in the sport of boxing that's going to say things that may be taboo, things that may be controversial, things that a lot of people are thinking, but a lot of people don't want to say. Now, as far as Terence Crawford choosing to face guys that's on a decline and all this weird shit, right? This shit is crazy, right? It is absolutely insane. If you sat here and watched and followed, and we did this on this channel very closely, we followed Terence Crawford's career and everything that was saying from all the critics and detractors and some of his fellow peers. I mean, look, man, these dudes waited for Crawford. They tried to wait him out. They tried to freeze him out. Crawford been trying to fight these dudes long before he got the Errol Spence fight. He's been trying to fight these guys. But guess what? They didn't really want to fight. He was the wrong side of the street. He was this. He signed with the wrong promoter. He don't got no ticket sales. This was the narrative back then. Teofimo Lopez skipped out on that part. And he also skipped out on the part to where Terence Crawford is older than all these fucking dudes. He also missed out on the part that Terence Crawford got more knockouts than a lot of these dudes got fights. So who's really old, right? It's not Terence Bud Crawford's fault, right, that some of these younger guys is on a decline faster than he is, even though he's the older fighter with more fights. Teofimo Lopez is doing a good job of trying to promote and sell this fight. He's doing everything but talking about a Jermaine Ortiz. Everything but talking about Jermaine Ortiz, who seems to be super serious and razor focused on this fight. It's not going to be an easy fight. It shouldn't be an easy fight. If Teofimo Lopez get past Jermaine Ortiz relatively easy, that's a huge statement. That's a huge statement in my book, right? If he gets past Jermaine the Technician Ortiz in relative ease, that says a lot to me. But Terence Bud Crawford, bro, Teofimo Lopez, come on, man. Teofimo Lopez is gunning for the fight with Crawford. Why? Because it's a lucrative fight. It'll be a big fight. And if he loses, oh, well, he was supposed to lose anyway. So it's a win-win for Teofimo Lopez. He don't necessarily lose if he gets in the ring and fights Terence Bud Crawford, because he's going to be expected to lose by the masses, right? But I don't never foresee that fight happening. Teofimo Lopez, he's just talking just to sell his fight. And what better person to talk to and to talk about to build up your fight than Terence Bud Crawford? You know, you got guys like Tank Davis, guys like to talk about, you know, other fighters tend to talk about to promote their fight, to try to sell a fight, to get fans interested in seeing them fight a guy that nobody cares about. So this is typically what happens in the sport of boxing. Is Teofimo Lopez serious? I'm not sure. But I do believe Brian Bomac McIntyre is serious. Oh, yeah. Brian Bomac McIntyre already got the game plan figured out how to beat Canelo Alvarez. All they got to do is get him in the ring. That's all they got to do is get him in the ring. And I can guarantee you it'll be probably more of a one-sided beatdown than the Floyd Mayweather fight, which ended in a majority decision. Strange enough, right? That fight strangely ended in a majority decision. I didn't see Canelo even land a punch on Floyd. But Terence Crawford, it's going to be a totally different fight. Similar, but different. Similar, but different. And what I mean by similar is that he's going to be styling and profiling all over Canelo Alvarez. But what I mean by different is that he's going to actually be putting a hurt on Canelo Alvarez. But salute to Canelo Alvarez. If this is all true, everybody's talking about it. It seems like this is a real thing. Nobody's saying anything to dismiss it now. And it seemed like we are on the preliminary stages of this fight actually happening. Not negotiations, preliminary stages of it actually happening, right? Us getting on that path, us talking about it, and then eventually in the next month or so we should hear if they're going into negotiations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We already know who the B-side is. We ain't got to go through none of that shit. Crawford's the full-blown B-side. Cool, we'll take it. As long as we can get Canelo Alvarez in the ring, right? But Teofimo Lopez already trying to downplay this fight. He said that Crawford only fights old fighters and guys on the decline and guys that's already damaged. But is it Terence Bud Crawford fault that Errol Spence sat and ran around the block, right, until he finally decided to spin the block? But is it Crawford's fault that Errol Spence spun around the block for 3 or 4 years before he decided to stop and fight Terence Bud Crawford? Nah, it's not his fault, bro. And in the middle of the street with the WBO belt in his hand talking about what's up. That's what I remember. That's exactly what I remember. And the first guy with a big name, right, that gave Bud Crawford was a shot was Errol Spence Jr. Now, you may say Sean Porter, Kell Brook, those guys, right? But it is not Terence Bud Crawford that Kell Brook, it's not Terence Bud Crawford's fault that Kell Brook decided to wait after he fought Golovkin, Spence, and all these dudes and did his European tour before he decided to fight Crawford. It is not Crawford's fault that Sean Porter finally got let out of the doghouse to go face Crawford after all these years of dismissing him. He's on the wrong side of the street, the business, etc. Right? It's not his fault that Errol Spence Jr. got into a car crash, didn't take the sport as seriously as he should have, had a wide specimen activity. None of this stuff is Terence Bud Crawford's fault. All these guys are younger than Terence Bud Crawford. All these guys that still have a lot of fight left in them, but it's Terence Bud Crawford that seems to have the most fight left. But tell me what you guys think, man. Bomac McIntyre says that anybody with a boxing brain, anybody that knows boxing for real, knows that Terence Bud Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez. And for Teofimo Lopez, he said that Terence Bud Crawford only fights fighter falling down the hill. Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.